So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to look at rendering our walls on the screen. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do this in two bits. Okay, first of all, I'm going to update the render code to do most of the rendering, but in doing so, I'm going to show you what data is we need for the to render a wall. And then we're going to go back and we're going to make a couple of changes to the back end, okay, to make it a little bit more friendly towards our UI. Okay, so as you'd expect, as well as doing for each ball in the balls, we do a for each wall in the world.walls. And that grabs a wall for each one. And then, whereas we created an ellipse for the wall, we're going to create lines. Okay, and then at some point we're just going to, just like we did before, ball canvas dot children dot add new visual wall. Okay, and then in between here, much like we did before, we have got to set the positions of it. Okay, so the way you do a line, okay, so if I do new visual wall dot, you can see right at the top you've got x1, okay, and there is a corresponding x1 and x2, and there's also the y1 and y2. So basically you've got to give the x and y position at the start of the line and the x and y position at the end of the line. Okay, now x and y1 is easy, that's just the x pos and the y pos. However, we don't have an x pos 2. We have a length and we have an orientation. Okay, so what we're going to do in a minute, I'm going to go back to the back end. I'm going to create properties to give an x2 and y2 by doing calculations based on that. The other thing we need to set is the color. Now we used fill for the last one. This time it's going to be its stroke. Okay, because it's just a line. So equals new solid color brush color dot if I do colors, then I can actually have pre-done colors, and I just want it to be black. Okay, so this is like when we have the console colors, except as you can see there is a lot more of them. Okay, so I want black. And that's yes, that is an enum, like what we created for the orientation. So now I'm going to go back and actually make some changes in my backend, which we haven't really done in a while. And this is going to be on our wall. So I'm going to create some properties for xpos1 and xpos2. So public double xpos2, and it does not have a set because you can't set the value of xpos2. Okay, you can only get it, and the get is going to look at the orientation, and depending on the orientation, it is going to add the length to it'll either add the length to it or not add the length to it. Okay, so for example with xpos, if it is horizontal, then the xpos2 is going to be xpos plus length. But if it's vertical, xpos2 is just xpos. Because remember, we're only doing vertical and horizontal walls. So if orientation is wall orientation dot horizontal, then return xpos plus length. And if we get to here, then just return xpos. There you go. So that's just saying if it's horizontal, then xpos 2 is xpos plus length, otherwise return xpos. And I can do the same thing for ypos, except I'm looking to see if it's vertical. And if it's vertical, then ypos plus length, otherwise return ypos. Again, if it's vertical, I've got this wrong around, haven't I? No, if it's vertical, ypos is the ypos plus length. Okay, there we go. I'm going the right way around. So now, if I go back here to my where I'm rendering my balls, my new visual wall dot x1 equals wall dot xpos, and my new visual wall dot x2, no, let's do y1 first, equals wall dot ypos, and then new visual wall dot x2, and look, it's coming up because I've done x1 and y1. Now the next one I want to do is x2 equals wall dot xpos 2, and look, I've got my xpos 2 here, and it looks and feels just like an item of data, just like a field, just like a data is actually being stored, whereas we know it's not. It's actually being calculated on the fly, and that's where properties can really become powerful. You can use it to make it appear like you're storing data that you're not, because it would be meaningless to store, because you've already got that data stored in a different format, and it just reformats it in the way that you want it. ypos 2. There we go. So I think, looking at my wall, it's just off screen. Yeah, there it is. There's my wall. Okay, so that is our walls added, and what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to add the other 4 walls so that we've got our box. Okay, I'll see you then.